Hi, we have new news on some upcoming dragons, upcoming events, and mainly the next heroic race. And in that, we have basically Hadge, but not Hadge, coming in this event. Because if we take a look at the brand new High Sparkle Dragon, which is actually coming out on the 4th of July, because we have a bunch of American-themed dragoning going on at the moment. We have the new High Sparkle Dragons race info here, but this is the new dragon. You can see we've got the egg, which is just like an explosive. It is the baby riding an explosive, and then we've got the adult holding a torch in one hand and then, you know, a firework in the other. So it is basically, looks to me like Hadge, but with rockets, which is an interesting design choice, but very, very much July 4th themed. And so on top of us having the High Sparkle Dragon, we do also have the new Monument Dragon, which again is in the same vein, but that dragon is part of a different collection. As it states here, it says the exclusive collection for Monument Souvenir, and there will be a Grid Island also on the 4th of July, and then there will be a Fog Island on the 8th. So we've got the 4th of July grid into Fog, and also Heroic Race from the 4th to the 15th. Then we do have Summer Nights. We've got 4th of July Stargazer, Blockbuster Heroes Reanimation. So then we're going to have another event on the 25th. So that's just a general overview, but the ones for right now is all 4th of July themed. And the thing is, I'm not sure how accurate it is. It looks like we're still going to have heroic combat quests, but I'm really not sure if we have any of the regular heroic quests. I mean, we've got that one there, but I'm assuming that it's going to be the same as usual with the requirements and all of that, because again, this is early info, but I'm going to say it's probably likely, and it looks like we've still got the regular heroic quests, but just don't assume 100% it's definitely happening until we actually get the event in game, of course. But it is there, and it'll be a bit of time before we can confirm it's actually there or not. But in that case, since it looks like this is going to be another plus 500, plus 200 orb race, it should be another lap 17 plus heroic quest, so possibly E4, E5 heroic quite easily. I've not actually looked at the laps in too much detail so far, because of course we'd have to get all the way up to lap 17 for this, but the actual, I don't know, they don't look too bad so far, but the main thing is how easy are all of the laps getting up to the final ones. There's an hour wait on this one, 8 hours for the battles, which is to be expected, and then 2 hours on lap 6. If we take a look at lap 10, for instance, we've got no minimum, 13 hours, 20 minutes, but that's for battles. Then we've got 16-minute wait timer, then 32 minutes. So this one so far doesn't actually look that bad, to be honest. So then breeding dragons, no minimum, 2 hours 30, 2 hours 30, and then we're just waiting on battle timers. So if it does stay the same as Ditlep, and Ditlep is the only one that I would suggest using for events that have already been confirmed, for instance, if it remains like this, I think this should be quite a nice race, and it should allow people to get those plus 700 orbs and at least get an E4 High Sparkler if you want basically a Hadge copy that is not a heroic VIP but is American themed. So she's not really my cup of tea design-wise, and I don't really care about the whole American patriotism thing, but I don't mind us getting extra events with free stuff in them, so I'm not going to complain. So that is the information that you need to be aware of that is upcoming. On top of that, yesterday we did also get 2 new events, which I'm sure you've already seen, but we've got the Tower Island, and then we've also got the Runner event. And so Runner event is pretty much identical to usual. You can get food boxes, you can get gems, you can get tower coins, so you might as well get all the way through and get the tower coins. We do also have the rainbow pins and a couple of insignias in here as well, which is great. And then with the tower event, this is another event where I would recommend not trying to go to the top of the tower. If you've already spent your currency, then rest in peace. But the reason why going to the top is pointless is because Demolition, for a start, is not a good dragon. And secondly, Demolition is a very old dragon. So getting to the top, you're just getting a dragon that has already been released many, many times. So I know it's the Miley Cyrus dragon, but they removed her wrecking ball after all of that happened. So that was an interesting time in DC's life anyway. Even though I wasn't really here directly for it, I know of it. But with this tower event, as usual, it is just going to be RNG as to what you get. But in the first level, for instance, we've got 2 different sets of insignias and the rainbow pins. And I'd recommend going for all of them because there's no reason not to. It's cheap, you can get all these items. And again, there's nothing for you to go for right at the top of the tower anyway. So you might as well pick up some nice goodies on your way up. I was a little bit annoyed about their streak thing not resetting properly before, and then when I went to collect yesterday, it's like, oh, your streak is broken, too bad. It's like, well, that's literally because your website doesn't work, social point. But it is getting pretty dire now for Windows players because, like, it has been ages since Windows ads have been broken, and not gonna lie, it's getting pretty bad because, like, some players only want to play this game on PC. That's just how it is. Players should not be forced to have to play this game on mobile when you have this game on not PlayStation, when you have this game on PC. So that really needs to be fixed. Like, my ads have been broken for a long time now, and every time I want to watch an ad, anytime I want to collect event items from like runner event in case there's like a ×2 on it, I have to do things on mobile, and it's not the way I enjoy the game, and it is very much ruining my experience in this game. So, I don't know, I'm just hoping that they fix it at some point soon, because otherwise this game isn't going to just annoy me. I should not have to, every single time I want to do anything, have to go and open it on a different device. It's just a massive time waste. And plus, sometimes on mobile you get like 10-second ads, and then sometimes I used to get really nice ads on Windows as well, and I don't get those anymore. So generally my time spent actually watching ads has gone up, both because I've got to change devices and because the ads haven't been as kind to me recently. So if they're going to slog me with only 30-second ads and I have to change an entire device for it, it's obviously not going to sit too well with me, but I guess we will see what happens in the next few days. We got a nice 3 there, which is lovely, so that we can go up to the next catapult. And you'll see as you go up the tower, we do have more insignias and such. So even though you shouldn't be trying to get to the top as fast as possible because you want to be picking up the event items, once you've picked up the event items on each floor, then you can focus on going to the catapult. But just bear in mind that if you do go for the event items, you're probably not making it to the top unless you get really, really lucky with your ×3s on the later levels. But generally speaking, if you go for like the insignias or whatever, you will not be able to make it to the top of the tower. So don't be expecting the Miley Cyrus dragon. It's just the way that it is with these events, and they are very much RNG. There's nothing that you can really do to change what drops you get, whether you get a ton of ×1s or not. It is possible, in theory, to check what your actual rolls are going to be by using the dreaded aeroplane mode. However, using aeroplane mode for that reason is not allowed, and it could get you banned, but Official very much does not like that, and I don't recommend for anyone to be using that. But be aware that some people do, in fact, do it. So if anyone's telling you to use airplane mode, my advice would be to not listen to them and let them do it at their own risk. I know what the benefits are, but if it's something that's against TOS, I'm not going to recommend that people do it. But, you know, people will do what people do, and people try and get any benefits that they can, even if they are illicit benefits. So it is what it is. But anyway, next room. And on this one, we finally have another rainbow pin, but ×1 rainbow pin is not very many. I did already unlock Found Family, and Found Family is an incredibly cute dragon, so I'm happy to have him. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get to 30. I think 30 is going to be very close. We've only got 2 days left of the event, I believe, so I'm not sure how doable 30 is, but as long as we get as many of the rewards as we can get all of our pride stuff prided up and then get all those little bonuses on the way through. So I'll be happy with that regardless. And honestly, if you've ever seen the Found Family's animation, it's a very cute one where he hugs Squirtle, Charmander and Bulbasaur, so I like it anyway. So there is that, but let's pick up this rainbow pin at least, and then we'll be coming up to a lot of our event currency being used. And I do like the items like this rainbow pin that are at the end, because even though you can't move again, even if you get an extra move, it means that you don't have to wait on a specific spin. So like you don't have to get like a ×2 or anything to land on it. So anytime you see an item right at the end, yeah, it might be quite a lot of panels that you have to cross over, but it's actually good so that you don't have to rely on RNG. And now we're getting the ×1s on the way back. So we go all that way for one singular rainbow pin, and it's like, hey, do you want some ×1s? So good luck with your rolls on this event. With the runner event, it is basically just a good old-fashioned runner. There's nothing crazy about it, nothing really of note. Just do your runner event quests the same way that you would do heroic race quests. So I'd recommend leaving at least one breeding or a couple of breeding slots open, maybe 1 or 2 hatchery slots open as well, just to make it faster. You don't have to, you can just leave open 1, or if you've got time skips, you can use your time skips on it. But generally speaking, I would say runner events are quite good. They are very rewarding, and they do have some of the event items in them this time, so I'm going to enjoy it. I at least wanted to see the next panel of the tower, but man oh man, this game is trying to rinse me out of my event currency right now. As long as we spend our event currency, at least it goes towards the leaderboard event, right? So even though we're getting all these stinky ×1s, at least we're getting the ×1s now. If that means that we can avoid some more later on game, pretty please. Oh god, that sucks. ×2. Oh, why couldn't we have gotten a ×3 just to land on that 100 sooner? Oh well. Okay, this part of the tower was not kind to us, but it's okay. We're on the next floor now, and is there even anything on this one? Doesn't look like it, so we will just try and steamroll our way up to the next couple of sections, and then we'll see if there is anything else that interests us. But we've got 2 more days of resetting and questing to do, so we've got a little bit of time. But yeah, whatever, I might as well spend the last of this ×3? Oh, ×2, that's okay. Every time you get a ×2, that's like the average drops. So every ×2 is pretty good. Every ×1 is a bit stinky. Every ×3 is big thumbs up. So yeah, there we go. Another ×3, and I would love that just to take us right next to the catapult, and then I could at least feel satiated for the most part in this event. Ah, there we go. See, ask and ye shall receive. There we go. So we're 1 away from this catapult. We'll see on the next level. Unless I have enough currency, we shouldn't be able to get enough currency for the upcoming quests, right? So we do have the quests for these 2 events on as well, which you should not forget, because any amount of extra bonus currency that you can get is obviously useful. And like I've said many times, now every single time I click to do that, it breaks. Also, is this still sitting at ×2 instead of ×3 quests done already? Because I definitely did those last night. So maybe they, I don't know, bugged out or something. Like maybe it just didn't save my progress, which would be very annoying if that is the case. Oh dearie me. That's what we up to. Yeah, that is number 2. Okay, I guess it just did not save my progress last night. Well, that's fantastic, isn't it? I love it when that happens. You know, when it looks like you've got a connection, the connection is stable, you like leave it a few seconds, you go do some other things on the island just to make sure it counts it, and then it doesn't count it anyway. Oh, that is very annoying. Oh well, there's only 1 extra quest, I suppose, but any extra currency you can get from these by doing that, definitely make sure you're doing it. And we've got lots of quests ongoing at the moment, but yeah, the main use, like I said, of all of those pride things is actually in the essence and the Joker orbs. Of course, you can get the hearts and the mythical Jokers as well, but genuinely the main use of all of these is going to be the trade essence and the Joker orbs for people, as long as you don't get all epic. Like legendary is absolutely fine. Heroic mythical is obviously very nice, very cool. And especially when people are trading quite a lot of people are preparing for guards. There you go, that was a pretty good set of openings. So I'd go for as many of those as you can. We do have some ascension chests to open up very quickly as well. So we got our bronze chest, more heroic, very cool, very epic. 25 for Praetor. The 25 for 2 dragons I already have, but we can use that for trading materials, so it's not the end. And in 3 more of these, we will be able to get a guaranteed. So I want to see which one of these divines we get. Not divines, ascendeds we get. And if it's like Retributor, Praetor, or Cosmos, for instance, that will make me very, very happy. Because I want a non-dupe. Some people are hoping for dupes so that they can empower them. I want non-dupes just for the collection. And that was useless. Wow, that was horrific. At least some gems would have been nice out of that one. That was tragic. But anyway, it is what it is. Some of your opening luck will be good, some will be bad. You'll have good spells and bad spells. And we also need to make sure that we actually do our runner event quest. So feeding dragons, winning league battles is obviously pretty easy. Winning or feeding dragons, you can just do by feeding up any old dragon like he's over there. The breeding, the hatching, any food collecting, those are always going to be the annoying ones. So that's why you should always have at least 1 slot open so that you can, you know, fiddle with things, put things where they need to be. And you'll see that with my leagues, I am currently trying to at least get some KOs on Giga Guard because, as mentioned, is this going to kill him if I hit him with that? Oh, not quite. Lovely. That's exactly what we want. But I should probably level him up to level 40 because honestly, having him at level 35 means he's only ever going to get 1 KO during most league battles, which is not ideal. If we can give him at least 2, then that's obviously great. But as long as we're getting 1 KO, we're getting some sort of benefit. I could throw, let's say like, I think that might kill him. Let's have a look. Yeah, 115,000. That is annoying. But we could try and throw an Amber instead of one of our level 70/69 dragons. But the trouble that we'll have if we do that is that if we run into like a 3 High Master Karma team, we may end up actually losing. So we do have to be quite careful about that. I don't want to lose any of these battles because obviously then it impacts on our quest progress, but at the same point I do also want to be making progress on our ranking up. So it's a difficult choice. I never know what choices to make, and this is just full of redemption dragons. Why does this person have so many redemption dragons? Like, we have redemption looter, we've got Norn. Deary me, maybe this person is a redemption simp. Certainly looks like it, deary me. I don't think we're going to get any KOs off of this one though. I think they're all a bit too... Oh, one, there we go. But he's already been murdered anyway. Thank you for that. Murdering my boy that I'm here to get my rank ups on. Lovely. Anyway, we could get rank ups from the quests as well, using specific dragons, using Giga Guard, but I'm also ranking up Deity, I'm ranking up Amber, I'm ranking up other dragons, I might be ranking up Maeve soon. I have too many things to rank up. There's too many things to focus on. But for now, we have our Determination Karma on the way. Other things to note is that I have been doing quite a lot of trading. I do actually have the Eternals collection technically finished now, but we need to actually summon them. So we need to make sure we've got enough legendary jokers to do all of our summoning. Then the second Eternals collection will be done. In terms of karmas, we're actually not too far off as well. We've only got 3 of them left. And then the only one that I really care about is going to be Beaked Extractor, and then potentially Guard HVIP later on once we see what it actually looks like, so there is that. But the final thing that I'm going to say is, of course, we've got these events on right now, so make sure you grind them out, get everything that you can out of them, especially Runner event, because, you know, you can see the bonus insignias and all of that there, and the tower coins will definitely help you in the tower. But if you want to prepare for the heroic race, make sure before the heroic race starts on July 4th, so in 2 days time, that you do have at least a couple of free breeding dens, you've got free hatchery slots, and your food is ready with... You can have like the long food ready for as soon as the heroic race is here, but make sure then that you don't auto feed or auto plant, so then you don't put in like 1 day food, otherwise that will screw you over massively in the event. It's just to very quickly go through the early laps, which I will go through anyway. But like the early laps, there are barely any wait timers. There's a 5-minute wait timer, then just battles, and then on lap 2 we have no minimum, 20 minutes, and then a 40-minute timer which you can skip, then no minimum, 1 hour, 30 minutes, no minimum. So in day 1, typically I would say lap 7 is roughly expected. You can get beyond that if you gem, of course, but I would say at least lap 7 should be your goal for day 1, assuming that these quests don't change. And again, lap 7, no minimum, 7 hours, 27 minutes, 1 hour, and then 2 hours on that quest, which is pretty much standard. It's what I would expect. So if it's released in this format, which we will check on official event release, but you should be good to go and get to lap 7, day 2 roughly about lap 11. Day 3, it might be like lap 13, day after it might be roughly 14 to 15, and then if you're on that sort of pacing, you'll definitely be fine with the event. So you have some extra days to do it, and we are all hoping, of course, for the plus 500 orbs to stay. So we have that, we have the skin, there is indeed a skin for the heroic as well, but interesting set of dragons, some nice events giving extra jokers and such at the moment, and we've got our arena stuff, so don't forget that. But I think for now that should be everything that you need to know about the current and upcoming events. So get yourself prepared, get your breeding dens and such ready, and yeah, since we have a runner event, you should really have your breeding and hatching slots ready, but I've obviously been doing lots of stuff, so mine will be ready very shortly once these 2 eggs are done, like these 2-hour egg, 2-hour egg. So our next reset is in 3 hours, so I can do all the breeding in that final hour. But I guess for now, it's time to chillax. So thank you for joining me. Best of luck with all your towering. And for now, get prepped for July 4th.